Welcome to a Rus Horse Archer Fast Castle guide. As I'm sure you're aware, the Rus Cav Archer build is being played by every man and their dog right now, which guess what? Means a lot of Rus mirrors on the ladder right now. So in this video, I'll be covering exactly that. This is a guide focused on having a build that will outperform your opponent in this specific matchup. It's not going to be the same as your build order for other matchups for very specific reasons. Our objective is to get to castle faster than our opponent and secure more relics. In my experience, having more relics in this matchup is almost a guaranteed win, so I will address this in my commentary of the build order. I will also have a written guide which you can get access to by joining my Discord, which I'll leave a link in the description to. If you are interested in seeing a high level Rus mirror where I break down the builds, approaches, and deep dive into the reasons as to why one player gets the edge over the other, then you can watch my other video, which I'll leave a link in the description also. So when you're done watching this, go over to that and see it in action. Now let's just dive into the build. Alright, so we're going to start with all vills on food except for one, which is going to come out and build a hunting cabin, into a house, into a lumber camp. So I've just shift clicked those so that they do that in that order. And then he'll go to chopping wood, which is what we want. So once you build the hunting cabin, you're going to queue up a scout straight away, send it in the opposite direction to the first scout you already have. And all your new vills are going onto food. In a Rus matchup, the objective is going to be aging up as soon as possible, both to age 2 and age 3. And the reason we want to age up to age 2 as quickly as possible is because we're going up with the golden gate, and every minute that you have the golden gate active, or built I should say, you're actually going to be able to trade one resource for 100 into another resource, in this case gold, for 150 gold I should say. So we're luring this wolf back to our base while at the same time bringing sheep back as well. I'm going to go back out here because we did see our second hunt out here. We're actually going to send this sheep back and we're going to make a third scout. So we're making 3 scouts in age 1, just so we can contest wolves, deers, all the important things for Rus to be collecting in the early game. So ideally they're all being sent out in different directions, trying to kind of cover the most ground as possible. Keep an eye out on all your scouts here because it's so important to be killing wolves. So we found a wolf here. Found a wolf with all of our scouts actually, which is pretty big. 2 relics over this side. So the 3 things you're scouting for, well it's 4 basically, is sheep, deer, wolves, and you want to be figuring out where the relics are. So that is one of the most important things in this matchup, is to be killing wolves for the bounty gold, collecting sheep so you don't run out of food while you're in transition and you can age up at a competitive time, and the relics, because as soon as you hit castle, your main objective is to secure those relics and deny your opponent relics. Okay, so there's 3 wolves here. We're going to bring these back to the TC, age up. With our age up, we're actually going to be aging with 6 villagers. And once you start aging, you want to bring a total of 4 villagers across to wood. Rest are going to go on food. There's not going to be any on gold, because we're just going to be trading our way up to castle age here. So we've scouted 4 of the relics, which is really good. Ideally you would have 5, but it's actually not bad having 4 because it's not realistic to get all 5 relics in a Rus mirror. So once you hit 50 wood, build a house. These guys are killing wolves. I can't stress the importance of actually killing wolves as well. Just because the bounty gold can be the difference between you getting a monk out straight away and you not getting a monk out early enough to secure the first relic. So we've killed the wolves here. In this map in particular, you want to be going to the corners because that is generally where the most wolves spawn. So we're training another scout as well. So we have a total of 4 scouts right now. In a Rus mirror, it's it's reasonable to create anywhere from 4 to 7 scouts, just so you're securing the hunts. Sorry, bit of a brain blank here. So there's more wolves here. And generally, if you're up against another Rus player, you won't actually be able to kill wolves in these because they would have already gone there and killed it. So as soon as you age, you want to get professional scouts. Now, in most cases, you won't actually have the full amount of gold. In this case, we found a lot of wolves. If you're not as lucky as me in fighting these wolves, you want to have 100 food banked up so you can trade for gold instantly. So once you trade for gold, then you can get professional scouts in. You'll have enough wood from your wood choppers. And yeah. So we're bringing our sheep back so we don't run out of food here. If we didn't bring these sheep back, these guys would run out of food, and that is really bad. Okay, we got our sheep back here. Bring them over here. These guys can do there. And then we want to go to your sheep. Sorry, not sheep, deer. So with all your scouts, go to your closest hunt. Now the reason I say closest hunt, or it could be your second closest hunt if your opponent is contesting your hunts. If they are, I recommend contesting that same hunt. But otherwise, go like to one of your closest hunts and start collecting the deer as soon as your professional scouts come in. And the reason we want closer rather than further away is we can actually start gathering deer quicker. And the faster we gather deer, the quicker we're going to be able to age up. And also, if you don't have as many sheep, you might be at risk of running out of food as well. So as soon as you have 180 wood as well, you want to build a wooden fortress. Start trading at the Golden Gate. Because we are trading our way up to Castle Age. We're not actually mining any gold whatsoever. I believe I'm missing a sheep here. Deer. Anyway, we'll just come back for this example. I don't want to muck around too much on that. Drop off your deer as close as you can to your town center. Trade whenever you have a ticket available. Because I got a lot of bounty in this game. I'm closer to 600 than what I would normally be. But it's likely in most cases you're going to need to trade one more ticket to be able to age up here. And you want to keep your eye on this. It's likely going to be... So if you aged at 450, it's going to be... The ticket's going to come in at that time because a new ticket comes every minute. So if you're aware of the age up time, you don't have to keep looking at the Golden Gate. You can just take a look when you know that a new ticket is going to be available. So I know I aged up around this time. There we go, trade. Age up with a monastery with 10 vills. And you want to send around 6 or 7 vills to wood here. As soon as you start aging as well, build your first archery range. Now, when we age, as soon as we age, we want to be getting a monk onto the field. So we're gonna age up just before 8 minutes usually. I did like slightly mess up my build by not having professional scouts as soon as I aged. So the more tight you are with the things I have explained in this video, you're actually going to be able to get up earlier than what I've done here. But for this example, we are slightly behind. Not too bad though. And from here, keep bringing back deer. And as soon as we age, cue the monk, as I said before. Should have archery ranges here. Start Q1. Build your third archery range around this time. And your monk is going to go out to the middle relic. So in this case, we have 3 pretty safe at home, which is amazing. But in most cases, you're going to have 1 in the middle, 2 safe ones. And you're going to want to go for the middle one. The reason being is you want to deny your opponent. And you want to get at least 3 relics. So in this particular spawn, you could actually even go for 4 relics. So with your scouts, you want to go straight to the relic here after you've kind of picked up all the deer at home. And once you kind of soon as you can, sorry, you should be queuing your horse archers straight to the relic in which you see that your opponent is scouting. It's likely that wherever your opponent's scouts are, that's where their first monk is going to go. So you want to go there first with your cav archers, which you should have out before them, and your monk should also be out before them, unless they're doing a build that is very similar to this. But considering we chopped a lot less wood than most other builds are, we didn't build any extra hunting cabins in Age 2. We can actually be pumping out units, getting our warrior monks out before them, get this relic, and... So where's my second one? I didn't make a second one. Okay. So, do as I say, not as I do in this explanation. Sometimes I get caught up in the commentary and miss things. So, as soon as you've made your first monk, you should be queuing a second monk straight away, and they should be going to the relics on the outer sides. If you contest this and you see the monk coming here, fight off the scouts, whatever you have to do, fight them off. But if you do see that nothing is like near this when your monk is nearly there, then you can go and start protecting these positions. So in this particular spawn, I would send all my cav archers to these ones just so you can hold down these relics. It's going to guarantee you getting 3, but also if you with your second monk, as soon as it spawns, you can send one scout over here and see if they have any units there. If they don't have any units there, send your monk here first rather than these 2 relics. The reason being is you have units to defend this position here. So you can prevent the enemy monk from getting these, plus you might be able to snag this one sneakily. If you see a bunch of units here, just send your monk out here, capture the 3 relics, and just settle for the 1 extra relic over your opponent. Now, obviously, as I'm explaining this, my macro isn't as perfect as it could be. I haven't been training units, but that's because I want to kind of emphasize some of these points that I'm talking about. And the main objective in a mirror like this is that you're capturing at least 3 relics. And the reason is, people often think, oh, well, Rus don't need gold, like, it's not a big deal if you don't get an extra relic. It's not true, because the amount of tempo advantage you get from, if you have more gold flowing in, you can actually get the tech advantage, right? So you can have stronger units, and once you start taking engagements, you'll have roughly the same unit count, but your units will be better. And that just snowballs out of control, because there's not really a way for you to get like a better economy than your opponent while also having an equal mass. So that's why 1 relic is so important. Make sure you're also, once you've secured the relics, you're going straight out to the sacred sites and securing those. The reason you want to go for the relics first is because that's a permanent source of gold. Whereas if you're going out for the sacred sites, they can be denied, right? So you're going to have this constant relic stream. Whereas if they go for a sacred site first, you could even get 4 of the relics if they go for sacred site first, because they're not sending their monks out to the relics when you can snag those while they're busy capturing sacred sites. And then once you kind of have the relics secured, you can contest the sacred sites, deny that gold after a bit, and make sure you're getting all the upgrades as well. Now, that's the build order. That kind of covers the opening and everything you need to know about it. I do have a more extensive Rus guide that I made in the past. Slightly different build order, but you want to prioritize your technology for your units first, and then you can focus on your eco. But before your eco, it's even worth upgrading the blessing upgrades here that are going to buff your units with your warrior monks, just so you can continue to win fights harder. Like, the extra 15% of wood gathering or food gathering is not going to make up for your units trading much more effectively. It means that you're going to have to invest more in units, and then by the time your eco kind of outscales your opponent, it's too late. All your units are dead. The opponent has all the sacred sites. So don't go for the eco upgrades in a mirror. Go for the military upgrades first, then the blessing upgrades, and then you can go for eco upgrades. So that covers it. I am releasing a video at the same time. I'll probably leave a card at the end here where I actually commentate and analyze a match, which is a Rus mirror against Dinky King versus Demon Sheep. These guys are both, I believe, top 30 players. It's a final for a bi-weekly tournament that I participate in, and I casted the game, gave a bit of analysis into the Rus mirror on this map in particular, and it just goes to show like how much an extra relic can snowball out of control. And yeah, basically it's a great example of kind of the points that I've touched on in this video, and how these advantages kind of snowball just ridiculously out of control. Like, one opponent was able to get Boyars for a big fight, the other opponent, the other player didn't have it, and the player that didn't have Boyars got completely crushed because this is a 20% plus, so it's plus 20, sorry, but it's actually more than 20% for a horse archer because they've got 85 health. That goes up to what, 105 health, which is more than a 20% increase on your horse archers. So just imagine, like, you have the same mass, but someone has 20% more HP, which is essentially like 20% more horse archers. So if you're interested in watching that, yeah, again, I'll probably leave a card somewhere. But if you did enjoy this guide and this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I will be posting more guides and more analysis in the future. So if that interests you, make sure you're notified for the future videos. Thanks guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.